Hello, everyone. Happy New Year. I hope everybody is still well. Ruth Daniel, Rob Jones. Hi, Rob. Happy New Year to you as well. Stephen Pedersen. Hello, Steve and everyone. Happy New Year. Hi, Vincenzo. I hope everybody had a great New Year's and Christmas time. Hi, Marie's the name. Cheers, everybody. Did everybody get any, I know I asked on the 27th, but did anybody get any Elvis related items for Christmas? We're going to be talking about a couple of things tonight, this afternoon and this morning, depending on where you are. We're going to be talking about the new documentary that's screened on Channel 5 in the UK. As far as I know, it's a two-part documentary because the first one was just called Part 1, obviously, The Man Who Shook Up the World. Unfortunately, you won't be seeing it anytime soon in the US. However, you can find it on YouTube if you just go in and search The Man Who Shook Up the World or Channel 5 or anything like that, and you should be able to find Part 1 on YouTube. I was even thinking, I missed it myself. Dozy me. I forgot that it was on. I forgot to record it. It was on St. Stephen's Day, Boxing Day, December the 26th. So I searched around and I found it on YouTube, and I've watched half of it because I have been busy just getting things ready for the new quiz, and there's a few interviews I've got lined up for January. So I'm even thinking of doing a review on the first part, and then also when part 2 comes around, which I think might be on his birthday actually. So it's only a few days away. I might do a review on that as well if anybody's interested on knowing my opinion on it. Hi, John. Hi, Jill. Rob again. Doug. Hi, Doug. Hi, Hilda. I got your email. I will be replying shortly. Hi, George. Thank you very much for all the nice wishes, emails and messages that you send me throughout the week. It's most appreciated. Did anybody see Tom Hanks being interviewed on the Late Late Show? And he took off his baseball cap and showed his bald head that he has to have for playing Colonel Parker. But I thought it was very, very interesting what he said. He said he looks nothing like Colonel Parker, so he has to undergo a lot of makeup. And he said, I have more makeup on my face than Roddy McDowall is in the Planet of the Apes, you know, the heavy latex makeup that they had to wear. So it looks like they're going to do a lot of makeup for everybody to try and make them look like the characters. So that I wonder now what sort of makeup Austin is going to go through to look like Elvis. So that's going to be interesting. Another thing that was interesting as well was Tom says that him and his wife had dinner with Priscilla Presley, and he was expecting Priscilla to come out and say sort of like, I don't know, not so much nasty things, but maybe, you know, she was going to say that Colonel Parker wasn't great and, you know, he was a con man and all these things that other people have said. And but it was far from it. Priscilla actually told Tom Hanks that, what was it now? He was great. He really looked after us. Although Tom Hanks did say that he was a scoundrel and a genius. So, you know, that's what Tom picks up from playing the character of Colonel Tom Parker. Tom Hanks is a great actor, I think. What was that Elvis doc on Boxing Day called? Right, Be Happy. It was called Elvis, the Man Who Shook Up the World. And it was on Channel 5 in the UK. And there is a second part coming very soon, as far as I know. And it's rumoured that it could be on January the 8th. And as I said, it was only screened in the UK, but you can find it on YouTube. So if you want to search it on YouTube and watch it, and yeah, I've watched half of it. I'm thinking of watching the second half and then doing a review on it. Yeah, there was a 7 Ages of Elvis. There was Rebirth of the King as well. That was on. That was about when he returned to live performances in 1969. There was also Aloha from Hawaii was on. And there was also Viva Las Vegas was on. So we had there was a lot of stuff over Christmas, a lot of stuff that was Elvis related. So I was quite happy. It makes a change because I've known years when there's been absolutely no no Elvis stuff on at all on any of the channels, which is not on really. Yeah, The Man Who Shook Up the World, we've discussed that, and we've also discussed what Tom Hanks said about Colonel Parker. He was a genius, but also a scoundrel, and he also said that, he was the sort of fellow who you'd want to sort of check your wallet afterwards to make sure that you still had all the 10s and 20s in there. So, obviously, he gets the idea that maybe Colonel Parker was, helped relieve you of some money as well by some jiggery pokery or something like that. And then I also said that his wife and himself had dinner with Priscilla, and he was expecting Priscilla to say that Colonel Parker was a bad man and he wasn't good for Elvis and all this and all that. But actually, he said, or she said, he was great. He really looked after us. So there you go. I want to also go through the new Fan of the Month quiz. Okay, so not Fan of the Week, but Fan of the Month. It's going to be 6 questions per week. Okay, and it'll be 5 this month because believe it or not, there's 5 Sundays in January. So this is the first of 5. Okay, so it's going to be 6 questions, and whoever gets the answer correct first on the comments gets put down, obviously, and whoever has the most correct answers at the end of the month wins the prize. There is a prize. There's a monthly prize. That's why I'm actually quite excited about the new quiz, because I can actually give somebody a prize now at the end of the month instead of just saying, when it was before it was just Fan of the Week, and then it was just there's George now. Actually, George I think was the first Fan of the Week. It was just George's Fan of the Week, and then that was it. That was it. So I'd like to be able to give something back for for you taking part in the quiz. Don't forget. You can also send me super chats as well by hitting the little $sign at the bottom of the comments box next to where you type your comments, and that makes your answer more visible, your comment more visible. Sandra says he's going to be the winner today. You never know. There's 6 questions. I've tried to kind of mix them up a bit and make them some of them hardish, some of them very, very easy, and so forth. Is the monthly prize a round trip to visit Ireland? Yeah, that would be a good idea, wouldn't it, Don? Yeah. That would be a great... Unfortunately, you can't really travel at the moment. Yeah, I was going to say something else, and I can't remember what I was going to say now. Don't forget your super chats. If you want to super chat me, and you can also donate to the channel, which it helps the channel a little bit. Just covers a few of my overheads, if you like, my expenses. So if everybody is ready, King says, Steve, you heard about a makeup artist for CBS telling Slaughter that they thought Elvis only had 6 months to live and he died about 6 weeks later. Yeah, I think it was the makeup lady, said Todd. Get a close look at Elvis because we think he's only got about 6 weeks to live, or 6 months to live, which I've always thought was a little bit unkind. I must admit, it was my thoughts on that were that... It was just a little bit unkind. Don't forget also the merchandise. I've pinned the merchandise to the top of the comments box. We've now got mugs, sweatshirts, t-shirts, hoodies, and so forth. So if you want to have a look at those and support the channel, you can. Right. So if everybody is ready, I'm going to ask you the first question, one of 6. Now, it's the first one that's right in the comments, and it's the first one I see as being right, okay? So, and my decision is final. So, but there's a long way to go because we've got 5 weeks. So you can actually catch up quite easily over the 5 weeks. So here we go. And on your marks. And the first question is... Now, Elvis was born on January the 8th, 1935. What time was Elvis born? What time? And I want the correct time and AM and PM. So, and it's the first person's name I see correct with the correct answer. Okay. So, okay. Roseanne Dolby. No, sorry, Ruth Daniel. I beg your pardon. Ruth Daniel. Okay, so Ruth got that right. I noticed there might be some people just typing 4:35. I've got to be strict on this and say, that if you didn't type AM, then I can't take that answer. Okay, so Ruth Daniel was the first name I saw that had typed 4:35 AM. So Jesse was born at 4 AM, stillborn, unfortunately. And Elvis arrived 35 minutes later at 4:35 AM. So Ruth Daniel was correct. Dave is saying 2:17 AM. No. King says my finger slipped, drat. I know. It makes it a bit more exciting now, though, doesn't it? Say, before I used to give people 5 minutes per question. So, yeah. Okay. Now, the next one. Next, question 2 for the Fan of the Month quiz. Okay. What shoe size did Elvis take? Okay. I'll accept the UK size or the US size. Okay, Elvis only is saying 11, and that is correct. It was 11D, actually. But I'll accept 11. Okay, so Elvis only. Don said 11D. That's very specific. Okay, and I think you're actually right with that, Don. 11D. Okay, Ruth Daniel is saying 11D. I'm going to accept Elvis only at 11 because that's all I was looking for. I was just looking for the shoe size. US 44, I believe, if I'm right. UK 11, US 44. Okay. George Newell says 11A. No, it was actually 11D. But I would accept 11. And I have done. Okay, so 1 to Ruth and 1 to Elvis only. Is everybody happy with this format? Arkansas Dave, was Jesse first or Elvis? Jesse was first at 4 a.m. As we know, stillborn. David Lund says good reffing. Yeah, a lot of people are saying yes and brilliant and so forth. No, unfortunately, that's not straight vodka. I know Elvis said straight vodka on That's the Way It Is, but it's just still water. I'm trying to. I've had a few drinks over the Christmas period. I don't mean a lot. I mean just a couple of drinks now and again. So I'm kind of detoxing now before work starts tomorrow. I've got to go back to work tomorrow. Yeah. So there you go. Vincenzo, I don't know. I think my mug is in the dishwasher, I think. Right, so we two questions down. What time was Elvis born? 4:35. Ruth Daniel. What size shoe size did Elvis take? 11, and that was Elvis only. What do you do for work? I work in a sales office, and I sell silver cups and trophies and awards and things like that. But it's quite quiet at January time because there's no sports. Well, not much sports in January, and also with the lockdown that we're going through here, there's very little sports. So, right. Well, Ruth says she likes my mug. Well, don't forget you can get the new Elvis the Ultimate Fan Channel mug now. It's pinned at the top of the comments, and you can also get t-shirts, short sleeve t-shirts, long sleeve t-shirts, and hoodies as well. Okay, Sandro says that he's not going to see the biopic of Elvis. They are lying about Tom Parker. Well, I don't know yet if they're lying about Tom Parker, because I'm not 100% sure of the whole screenplay and the whole script. I've heard that it's supposed to be focusing on his relationship between Elvis and Colonel Tom Parker. Now, whether they'll be 100% truthful about it or not, I don't know. I just don't know. I hope they're not going to make Elvis look bad. I really do. And it is my intention to go and see it on the day of release, which I think is November the 21st. I think it's November the 21st. Which consequently is the same day in 1955 that Elvis signed his contract with RCA, which is a bit of a coincidence. Yep, Eat, Sleep, Drink Elvis is correct. And I can honestly tell you that the quality of the mug is extremely good, and the printing. Same with the Elvis, the Ultimate Fan Channel mug. In fact, I've got one coming to me, so I can show you that when I get it. Gatorade already been used. Yeah, that's one of the things he says, actually. Yeah, Don, I think you're right. Tom Hanks makes it legit. There's very little movies that Tom Hanks has made that's been bad. I wasn't that keen on Big. I absolutely adore The Green Mile. Forrest Gump was okay. Castaway was another one. So, yeah, I'm going to give it a chance. And what I might do is, after I've seen it, I'm going to do a review for everybody who can't get to see it straight away, so they'll know what to expect. So I might go and see it on the 21st, if that's the day it comes out, and then the next day do a review while it's still fresh in my head. Well, Loanne is now dead, actually. She died recently, didn't she? So I don't think she can actually threaten any sort of legal action now. Somebody's saying that she threatened legal action if Tom Parker was portrayed badly. Don't forget, it helps the channel as well if you share this channel and if you subscribe and click on the bell, and you'll be notified when I post new content. So that's another thing you can do. There it is at the top of the screen. Subscribe and then click the bell. Okay, just to remind you to do that if you could, because it does help. The more people that subscribe and the more people that see these videos and hear my interviews. There's more interviews coming up now in January and February. People who were close and very close to Elvis. If you haven't seen the recent one, it was Sandy Miller who became very close to Elvis. And if you want to just search that out on Elvis the Ultimate Fan Channel, a lot of people have said it's a very, very good interview, and I agree. She was great. She really was, Sandy Miller. And then there's Barbara Hearn and Mike Stone and all those other people I've spoken to. Alana Nash. I spoke to Alana about her books. Thanks, Don. Yeah, a lot of people have said that they enjoyed the Sandy Miller interview. Larry Strickland, who sang bass with Elvis from 1974 to 77. Another great guy. I thought he was just an absolute gentleman. I really did. Barbara Hearn, who dated Elvis in the 50s. Okay. Elvis died April the 16th, 1977, 6 a.m. No, he didn't actually, Sandra. It was August the 16th, 1977. I think that might be a typo on your behalf. And they think it was probably somewhere around 10 or 11 a.m. So he'd unfortunately he'd passed a few hours before Ginger found him, unfortunately. So that's not great. If everybody's ready now, I've rattled on for a long time. I sort of got waylaid there. You know me, once I start talking about Elvis, I can go off at a tangent. So if everybody's ready for if anybody's ready for question number 3, again, it's the first person I see on the chat that gets their name taken down. Okay. And question 3 is, okay, what was the name of Elvis's chimpanzee he had as a pet in the 1960s? All right. Oh, hey, Leanne. Okay, yes, it was Scatter. Wow, look at all those people saying Scatter. That must have been too easy. That What I decided to do with these 6 questions was I'd throw in some easy ones and some more obscure ones. It's all about speed, isn't it? I think some of them, because so many people said Scatter, within seconds of each other. Hi, Jan M. Good to see you. We've got a few ideas coming up for the new year as well. We were thinking of getting 2 or 3 young Elvis fans on to discuss, how they became fans so long after Elvis died. Some fans are like 15, 16 years of age. Elvis had been dead for over 30 years when they were born, but they are Elvis fans through and through. So I was thinking of getting a couple of young fans on just to discuss the whole Elvis thing. And like I say, I have also got plenty of interviews coming up as well of people who knew Elvis, were close to Elvis, worked with Elvis, did other things with Elvis, So far we've got Ruth Daniel, Elvis Only, Leanne Penrod. So basically Ruth, Elvis Only and Leanne Penrod really need to get in and get either question 4, question 5 or question 6 right first. So it's at least I've got somebody in the lead after the first week. I'd love to have somebody, in the league in the lead after the first week. So what I'm basically going to do is I am going to, hi Dennis, I'm going to ask question 4 in a second. Don't forget, we did actually mention at the start of the program The Man Who Shook Up the World, Elvis, The Man Who Shook Up the World, which was on Channel 5 on the 26th, Boxing Day. And I was thinking of it was only screened in the UK, but for people watching now in the US, if they search it on YouTube, they should be able to find episode 1. And there is, as far as I know, 2 episodes, and we think the second episode is coming up on January the 8th, which is his birthday, or would have been his birthday. And also there was another thing I was talking about was Tom Hanks was interviewed on the Late Late Show in America. And the guy, I can't remember the guy's name who was interviewing him, but he said, is Elvis Presley big in Australia? And Tom Hanks kind of looked at the camera and says, Elvis Presley is big everywhere. It was a bit of a silly question, I think. And, he said, Elvis Presley is still as big now as he's ever been, which I kind of agree with him. He is. And he said that he went to lunch or dinner with Priscilla, and he was expecting Priscilla to say that, Tom Parker was a con man or very bad for Elvis, but instead she said he was great. He really looked after us. So make of that what you will. The man who shook up the world wasn't bad. Yeah, although I did notice one discrepancy, and obviously it was just a mistake that wasn't picked up. They actually got Elvis's birth date wrong. They said he was born in 1936. And obviously, as we know, it's 1935. So it was just a mistake that wasn't picked up. I've watched 3/4 to about a half of the first episode, and there's nothing in it new to me. There might be something new to somebody else, so I would definitely recommend that you check that out. The Man Who Shook Up the World, and then we can maybe discuss the second episode as well when it comes out. Right. Stand by for question number 4. Jackie Rickard. Yes, hi Jackie. I've had an email from you today, and I think I answered it as far as I remember. So you should have got that. Thanks for your kind message. And as I always say, everybody that sends me messages and emails and so forth throughout the week, I appreciate them, and I do read them all. I sometimes don't get to answer them straight away, but I do appreciate them. They're most appreciated. Sandra says that Priscilla knows that Tom Parker didn't care about Elvis when he was very sick in Kentucky in 1977. And Vincenzo says the Colonel was a crook. Yeah, well, I think that's what Tom Hanks was expecting Priscilla to say, that he was bad for Elvis, but instead she says, no, he looked after as well. Hi, Nancy. How are you doing? So are we all ready for question number 4? Okay. Now, I'm going to look for a number for question 4. And it's a round figure. It's a round figure. It's not something and 1 or something and 2 or all this. It's a round number. That's why I'm going to say that approximately how many visitors does Graceland get per year? Okay. Approximately how many visitors does Graceland get per year? That's not with the pandemic. 2020 was an exceptional, outstanding, whatever you want to call it, year. Now there's Ruth Daniels, 600,000. She just by a fraction, a hair, beat Mark. That was fast. And I would say that there must have been a millisecond between Mark and Ruth. Well done, Ruth. So after 4 questions, Ruth has 2, Elvis only has 1, and Leanne Penrod has 1. So we do have an early leader in Ruth Daniel. It's amazing. It's amazing to think that 600,000 people go through the front door, approximately 600,000 go through the front door of Graceland per year. Second only to the White House. I think most people know that. 43 years after his death, 600,000 people. It's incredible. Incredible. Ruth, yeah, you're very quick on the typing there. Very quick. Okay. So yeah, Ludane, yeah. Not 2020. Yes, I did say not 2020 withstanding, because it was just a new. I'd be interested to know how many people visited in 2020 with the pandemic and all. Of course, it was closed for a while, wasn't it? And now they only allow a small amount through at a time. King says Ruth must have 4 keyboards. Yeah, that's correct. She must have. But just going back to the biopic that is being filmed with Austin Butler and Tom Hanks. I'm actually looking forward to it because, we don't get a lot of new stuff now with Elvis. It was like the excitement surrounding the Elvis in Nashville box set. There was a lot of excitement and stir about that. And that could go down as probably, one of the best releases, Elvis releases in a long, long time. It was a really, really, really good release. Sandra says they said that Elvis's hair was white when he died. Well, it would have been white if he hadn't dyed it, I'd say. Yeah, Chris, it's like fastest finger first on Who Wants to Be a Millionaire is right. It is. So we have 2 questions left to go, and Ruth has 2 right, Elvis only, and Leanne Penrod. Okay, but it's early days. There's another 4 weeks after this, because it just so happens there's 5 Sundays in January, and I was looking, there's only 4 in February. So whoever's going to be fan of the month for February, they don't need to get as many answers correct. Okay. Larry had to touch up Elvis's sideboards, is right, sideburns, and here around his temples. I think he used a mascara brush and mascara just to take away the white. So Larry says, although I'm not 100% sure whether that's right, because I wanted to speak to Larry, but I can't get him on the channel, unfortunately. Pete says his favorite Elvis album is Elvis Back in Memphis. Yeah, one of the better ones. Definitely one of the better ones. Yeah. Well, Sandro says, do you think that Priscilla will have some backlash because he is defending Tom Parker? I would imagine yes. There would be some people who are saying, what does she mean? Because there's a lot of people that don't like Tom Parker. So anybody that does like Tom, for instance, Priscilla, is going to get backlash. Okay. Right. So fingers at the ready. I want the full name of this person. Okay. Question 5. The full name. Whoever gets the full name first gets question 5 right. Name Elvis's character in the movie Change of Habit. Yeah, that's very good question. That why she defends him when she took him to court, David. Yeah. Okay, Don Horn got it right first. King, you were very close. You said Dr. Carpenter, but I wanted Dr. John Carpenter. Don, you are in the mix for January's Fan of the Month. Long way to go, but you have to be in it to win it. Yeah, Mark, John Carpenter, Lorraine, John Carpenter, Marie's name, John Carpenter. Anybody that's typed John Carpenter, unfortunately, I'm being a stickler here. I wanted Dr. John Carpenter. JC22, hi John JC22. JC22 was a past winner. She won, I think it was the 2nd or the 3rd week of the quiz. That was when it was just quiz of the week, fan of the week. I've decided now to be a bit fairer and give it a month. And also we're going to have a prize at the end of the month as well. Yeah, Rob says she's quick. Yeah. Ruth is quick. Well, actually, everybody's quick. If you think from the moment I actually asked the question to it coming up is normally seconds. Don was very quick that time. I knew Don would know that. Okay, DJ Dr. John Carpenter, he actually used that alias when booking into hotels. Also John Burroughs, that's correct. He did. Yeah, you are quite correct. Okay, this is actually working out quite well. If everybody else is kind of pleased with this format, I think we'll keep it up. We'll have to keep it up for the month now anyway. But we'll see. We'll see what everybody thinks. What time was Elvis born? 4:35 a.m. Ruth Daniel. What shoe size did Elvis take? 11. Elvis only got that. What was the name of Elvis's chimpanzee he had as a pet in the 60s? Scatter. Leanne Penrod got that right. Approximately how many visitors does Graceland get per year? 600,000. Ruth Daniel again. So she's 2. And finally, Don's just got the correct answer for the last one. Name the Elvis character in the movie Change of Habit. Dr. John Carpenter. Okay. Lou Dane says she thinks this format is better. So do I. So do I. I'm learning all the time. So, and also there's a prize at the end of the month, which is great. And the prize is, you would have seen the prize actually if you've watched my live stream video. A 15-year-old makes it into Elvis's bedroom because Elvis Presley says, sorry, I missed all the questions. I know, yeah, you have to come in fairly quick. I kind of leave it the first 5 or 6 minutes before I start asking the questions, but 5 or 6 minutes in, I start asking the questions. So anybody that's misses the 5 or 6 questions, unfortunately, they can watch back and watch what else we were talking about, because we were talking about Priscilla meeting Tom Hanks, and also the documentary The Man Who Shook Up the World, which is now available on YouTube. So if anybody saw my video with Arkansas Dave, he showed the prize that he's donated for January. And it's very, very, very kind of him to do that. And he's offered to post it out to the person that wins at the end of January. So, what do we have now? We have question 6. And this is quite a quick answer as well. A quick answer, which is what you need. Yeah, it's also on Channel 5 on demand. Correct. I forgot about that. But my demand, for some reason, on Channel 5, my on demand doesn't work. So I was very, very pleased when I found that I could watch it on YouTube. And as I say, I might just do a review on my channel, on this channel here, and tell you what I thought of the first episode. Was it Jerry Marsden that died today? Was it? I heard that somebody in Jerry and the Pacemakers had died, but I wasn't sure if it was Jerry himself. That's very sad. Very, very sad. Of course, he did a version of You'll Never Walk Alone. So that's quite sad if it is. Yeah, Jerry from the Pacemakers died. He must have been quite an age. Rob says 78. Yeah, Ferry Cross the Mersey, another good one as well. Yeah, How Do You Do It? All those. Very sad. Very, very sad. Yeah, Jill says she can't get Channel 5 on demand either. Yeah, no, my Channel 5 on demand doesn't work for some reason as well. But as I say, thankfully it doesn't matter because I can get it on YouTube. Yes, Dawn, Don't Let the Sun Catch You Crying. Absolutely fabulous record. Fabulous record. They're all stuck here in the back of my head, and as people are mentioning them, they're coming out. Yeah, I'm sad about that. Very sad. Elvis only, will the live streams be every Sunday? Yes, for the time being they will. I mean, I think Sunday suits everybody best. And also approximately this time as well. I might just push it back a little bit later and make it half an hour later. That would be 3 p.m. on the East Coast, and on the West Coast noon. Unless anybody says no, half past the hour is best. Somebody's saying, what is the link for the YouTube, please, Steve? Do you mean for the documentary? If you just type into the search bar on YouTube, Elvis, Elvis, the Man Who Shook Up the World, you'll find it. Yeah, I noticed that, King. They were talking about My Happiness. My Happiness, the first song that Elvis recorded, but they were playing That's When Your Heartaches Begin, or vice versa. I can't remember which way around it was, but I did notice they got the wrong song, the one they were talking about. You know, Mark, you were a fraction after Ruth. I actually saw Ruth's name and then your name, and it must have been a fraction of a difference between you and her, but hers did appear first. Hers did appear first on my screen. Oh yeah, well I did. Yes, they're very interested in those high res downloads. Great, thanks for that. Very kind of you. Thank you. I get people sending me stuff every week, and I sometimes forget to thank them. But I really I'm appreciative of all the things that people send me, and you know, I am. So what can we do now? We're going to have the final question for this week. All right, and that'll be 5. That'll be first week of 5, so it'll be 4 left to go. And at the moment, Ruth, I have to admit, Ruth is in the lead by two questions. She got question 4 right and question 1 right. So, question 6, and this really is an easy one. Who did Elvis visit the last night of his life? Okay, he left Graceland and arrived back shortly, just after midnight, I believe, didn't he? After he'd visited somebody. Okay, Rosa Muniz, dentist. I hope I got your surname right. Muniz. Yeah, his dentist Hoffman. Yeah. There's a lot of people getting that correct. Ludane, dentist. Yeah. Okay, so just to go through the questions again. What time was Elvis born? 4:35 a.m. That was Ruth Daniel. What shoe size did Elvis take? 11. Elvis only got that right. Elvis only got that right. What was the name of Elvis's chimpanzee he had as a pet? Scatter. Leanne Penrod got that right. How many visitors does Graceland get per year on a normal year, notwithstanding the COVID-19? 600,000. Ruth Daniel got that right. Don Horn got the name Dr. John Carpenter correct to change of habit. And finally, who did Elvis visit the last night of his life? His dentist. Okay. So... yeah, I mean, a lot of people are saying that, they said the right answers. And I do agree, there was a lot of people with the right answers. It's the name I see first, the first person I see who's typed the correct answer. And as I said, the person who got that last question right was Rosa Muniz. Could you send another... comment, please, Rosa, because I'm not sure I've got your surname right. I've written it down as Muniz, but I'm sure I got it wrong because I was furiously writing quickly. Yeah, Mark, Steve, on my list of the chat, my name is first with question 4 and 6. Am I wrong? I don't know. I'll have to look back. I can't actually look back at the moment, but I will look back. And it's question 4 and 6. I'll look back on the replay. Elvis's favourite suit was the 1977 Sundial suit. Certainly wasn't mine. It seemed to be unflattering around the midriff. It almost seemed to draw attention to the fact that he was a little bloated on some days. Don't get me wrong, it was a nice suit, but it definitely wasn't the peacock suit. I'm just wondering now whether the chat appears differently on people's screens, although I can't think why it might. But in all honesty, the first, King is saying that happened to me. My name appeared first on my screen, but on Steve's screen it's different. Okay. I mean, in all honesty, I'm being completely honest about this. It's the first person I see who gets it right on the chat. Yeah, the tiger suit wasn't too bad. I've said before, the peacock. Some of the That's the Way It Is and January and February 1970 suits were absolutely brilliant. They were, they weren't fussy. They were quite minimalistic. There wasn't a lot of coloring to them or rhinestones or anything like that. They were just plain white with a little bit of the red ladder suit. That's another good suit. I like that. Doug says, Mark, I have had this issue with Ashley Drew and I thought she was ignoring me. She said to watch the replay to see the screen and saw it. It was different than what I saw live. That's very interesting, that. Yeah. The chain suit, Don. Yeah. Yeah, the chain suit is nice. Yeah, so as I see it on my screen, on my feed, I'm putting the first name down that gets it right. Okay. King says, I don't tell porcupines. No, I mean, there's no need for me to put down the second or third or fourth name. It's the first name. Now, I have no idea why it comes out differently on people's screens. I really have no idea. But it's on my display that I'll put the first person down. The fringe suit was good, yeah. Is that the one with the tassels that he wore in November? He only wore that, I think, once because he could hardly move in it because the tassels were flying around everywhere. But the fringe, there's one with fringes, yes, and that's a nice suit. I don't know where Jake is. I must admit, I must give him a shout after this and see where he is. I know he's got an upcoming YouTube video in the next few weeks. Yeah, exactly, Ruth. Yeah. Yeah, the 6 winners are cousins and uncles and aunties. Yeah, I know. So, basically what we have a front runner, and the front runner this week is Ruth Daniel. Okay, she's the only one that got more than one question right. And, but there's still a long time to go. So, don't panic yet. There's still another 20 odd questions, isn't there? Oh yeah, Lou Dane says, don't forget to give me the thumbs up and share this this channel, subscribe, and click on the little bell so it's you're notified every time I go live or I load up a new video. And there will be new videos coming in January. Don't worry, new interviews. I have people lined up. Interesting people. I firmly believe that you will find them very, very interesting because they are close to Elvis. They knew Elvis. Now, Elvis Presley has just sent a what they call a super chat there, and he says, congratulations to the winners. That supports this channel, and it's very, very kind of somebody to do that. It's a very kind gesture. So you can do that. You can show your support for this channel by clicking on the super chat. It doesn't have to be $5. It can be $1. It can be $50. It depends. But I wouldn't ask you to give me $50. But it just helps. And don't forget to check out the new merchandise I've loaded up as well. There's shirts and mugs and things like that. And I've ordered a mug for myself. But I know they're going to be good because the Eat, Drink and Sleep mugs are very, very high quality as well. So I'm going to file that Fan of the Month quiz with all the questions and answers. 4 more to go, and then somebody will win the framed 45. It's a collector's item. It's a framed 45 of It's Now or Never, backed with A Mess of Blues. And also Arkansas Dave says that he's put a Easter egg, something a little extra behind the single Chris says that I got the first mug, eat, sleep, drink, and yes, it's very good quality. Yeah, it is actually. It's good quality. I was quite surprised. That's very kind. Thanks, Robert. Steve Channels is one of the best. Rob, £3. Very, very, very kind. Very kind. I'm speechless. People are giving me super chats, and I am speechless because it's very, very kind. It shows your support for the channel, and it shows your support for Elvis. So it is very, very kind. Has everyone seen newly released fan footage, all new, not in YouTube? Steve Stevens. Yeah, I've seen stuff floating around about that, and it's very, very good. I think it's called Sold Out, I think. So yeah, check it out. It's very, very good. So if everybody is happy with the format for the new Fan of the Month quiz, we're going to carry it on. That was the first of 5, and there will be a monthly prize for the most correct answers. Guys, I'm taken aback now by these super chats. Very, very generous. Thanks very much. I'm going to put it into the channel. I might get a new light or a new mic or something, camera. Actually, if anybody's watching this and they've watched the previous ones, they might be able to tell that I have a wider angle camera this year. So I invested a few of the super chats and so forth for a new camera. So yeah, somebody says great format. Yeah. So we'll stick it out for a month anyway. So just to go over it one more time, if anybody wants to check out that Tom Hanks interview, he shows his bald head that he had. Don, thanks for the super chat. I've got to catch up with you as well. I must catch up with you because I want Don back on my channel as well. It's been a while since me and Don have had a chat on the channel. So Don, I'll be catching up with you shortly. Yeah, Tom Hanks showed his bald head that he had to have for Colonel Parker. He also said that he wore a lot of makeup and plastic prosthetics and so forth on his face to make him look like the Colonel, because he says he doesn't think he looks like the Colonel at all. So, but he says him and his wife Rita, I think his wife's name is Rita, had shared dinner with Priscilla, and Priscilla said that Colonel Tom Parker, he was great and he really looked after us, which probably means that he made plenty of money, I would imagine, for her and Elvis and for everybody concerned. So yeah, that's probably what she meant, I think. And as far as we know, yeah, Ruth says it's Rita Wilson. I knew her first name was Rita, yeah. So as far as we know, the biopic is still scheduled, I think, for the 21st of November. And I'm looking forward to it. Personally, I'm looking forward to it because, new Elvis stuff is few and far between these days. It comes out in dribs and drabs and things like that. I know we get things like the 68 special in the movie houses, and that's the way it is and things like that. And we also get new releases and things like that. Most recently, Elvis in Nashville, which was a brilliant release. But we've got to make the most of it. Same with the documentaries as well. The Channel 5 documentary, part 2, is coming up soon. The Man Who Shook Up the World. So that's going to be pretty good. Tom Hanks said he was back on an island with Wilson when they got stuck in Australia. Yeah, I know. If Priscilla's involved in the Elvis film, she will be doing it for publicity. Well, it'll need publicity anyway. 21st of November is my birth date. Well, that's very good. Also, if it is the 21st of November, it's also the same date that in 1955 Elvis signed for RCA, I believe. So it's all kind of tying together nicely. I don't know whether that is sort of just a coincidence or whether they have actually penciled it in because of that. It would tie in nicely with it, wouldn't it? Because Colonel Parker had a lot to do with Elvis signing for RCA, a lot to do with it. Yeah, Leanne, a lot of people have said that, and I kind of tend to agree a little bit. He was good for Elvis at the start, but some of the later years, maybe he just ran out of ideas, I think Billy Smith even said that in a recent interview on Memphis Mafia Kid. I think he said that, maybe Elvis would have outgrown Colonel Tom Parker, and maybe they should have moved on. Elvis should have moved on and got somebody that could have helped him tour the world, visit the UK. I know Elvis wanted to visit the UK. The only time he ever stepped foot on UK soil, and it's not really English soil, but it's UK soil, was in Prestwick Airport in Scotland in March 1960 on the way back from Germany. Stop over to refuel. I'm not even sure initially if Elvis realised he was in Scotland. He knew they were touching down somewhere, but I think he had to ask somebody, where are we, before he was told Scotland. So, yeah. Very, very interesting. Very, very interesting. So that's it for this week. Thanks once again so much for your support. You're joining me every Sunday for this quiz. It's going to be exciting as the weeks go by to see as we get people neck and neck and more people joining and getting the questions right. And, at the end of the day, there will be a prize. So it will be worth taking part. So if you can share this with anybody who wants to... Jill says, what does it mean to subscribe? Well, basically, if you subscribe, it means you support the channel. The more subscribers, the more YouTube show my videos to other people. It means then that we get more followers, more viewers, and people, more people get to see Elvis. So that's what subscribing means, and it's free, so just click the subscribe button. Leanne says, I could have a new grandbaby on Elvis's birthday. That'd be great, wouldn't it? If it was a boy, you'd have to kind of incorporate Elvis's name in there somewhere. So thanks very much. Look after yourselves. Don't forget to share and subscribe and check out the merchandise as well. And until next week, look after yourselves.